Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to another edition of the dceu Daily. And on today's show we have massive breaking news which I'm sure you're all aware of by now. Sasha Calle from The Young and the Restless has been cast as the dceu Supergirl. I am so extremely excited about this. I know a lot about Sasha. She's beautiful, she's adorable, and she's such a force of nature. I've been watching her on The Young and the Restless for years. So how did this all play out? Because we all kind of know that Flashpoint is literally gonna kind of feature every single DCEU superhero and ones from other universes as well. The walls of the multiverse are going to break down as Barry Allen, aka Ezra Miller, will go back in time to save his mother's life, which will change everything in the DCEU forever. So how did this all play out? Well, Andy Muschietti did a Zoom call to Sasha, basically in the pretense that he wanted to interview her some more about the role. So he asked her if she can fly. And she looked at him as like, I really want this gig, but I think you need help. She looked a bit worried. So he was playing, this was going to be this whole surprise thing. Unbeknown to her, she was live on Instagram as well. So then he goes, would you like to fly? And she goes, of course I would. Okay, you're Supergirl. He holds up the freaking Cavill S symbol, the top of the Superman costume. So anyone complaining, look, I'm a member of the Snyderverse DC universe, of course I am. But ultimately, I'm a wholehearted all-round DC fan. When you see the guy holding that up, why are you complaining? Why are you saying, oh, isn't this just convenient that this has been announced now? Obviously, they're trying to mess with what we're doing at the Snyderverse and Zack promoting Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. No. HBO Max is one department of Warner Media. Warner Brothers Pictures is another, right? What did you want them to do? Not announce this? Maybe they could have waited. Maybe you're right. But this film is in production, and this is the way they're going to do things now. They're going to be doing things big in a marketing way from the very beginning. They're not going to allow people to get scoops on them. They're going to release this news first. So what Andy Muschietti and Warner Brothers Pictures did was absolutely fantastic and so exciting. Nobody loses here. A film being released on March the 18th cannot be affected by a film being released in 2022, right? People are still talking about the Snyder Cut. People are still talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Don't you worry. But this is incredibly exciting. Now, obviously, the only thing that would tamper my excitement if Supergirl's replacing Superman in the DCEU after Flashpoint is done, if that's part of the damage that Barry Allen does by changing the timeline, that would really piss me off. But ultimately, what you could have is Sasha Calle standing next to Henry Cavill. How amazing would that be? And of course, we don't know if Zack knew about this prior, if he was involved with the casting. I don't think he was. I don't know who cast her. Actually, I do know who cast her. I'm being stupid because Andy Muschietti said that he'd cast what? Or he'd auditioned, 150 young women or something like that. And he chose Sasha. So So that's interesting. Why would Andy Muschietti get to choose Sasha? Maybe he's like in the position that Zack was on Man of Steel. Maybe Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti are the people now leading the DCEU in terms of a filmmaking standpoint, as Zack and Deb were back then. Now that's interesting to me, and that's really exciting, because why would Andy, if he was just kind of the director of this film, just be doing this? Why would he be allowed to cast this young woman? So that's interesting. Anyway, Deadline have got the full scoop about this. As you can see, I'm really hyped. I think you should be hyped. I don't think you should worry about it. I think Cavill will be standing on screen with this young woman, which is really, really exciting. Anyway, DC Universe's new Supergirl is Young and the Restless actress Sasha Calle. Will make debut in upcoming Flash film. One of the most exciting things about me is that we're getting Supergirl in the DCEU, which is going to be in Flashpoint. What DC fan wouldn't be excited about that? Anyway, I digress. Exclusive, Young and the Restless daytime Emmy nominee Sasha Calle has scored the feature role of DC Universe's new Supergirl. The Boston MA-born Colombian actress is the first Latina Supergirl ever in DC and was chosen from more than 425 actresses who auditioned. She will make her debut in Warner Brothers' The Flash. Andy Muschietti auditioned all those young women. He did it. So he's got a lot of power now in the DCEU, whether you like that or not. I like Andy. He's got a very small CV, but I think he and Barbara as a team, as a brother and sister family unit, are a great team. And I look forward to what they're going to do. A great choice by Walter Hamada, by the way. I saw more than 400 auditions. The talent pool was truly amazing, and it was very hard to make a decision. But we finally found an actress who was destined to play this role, said Muschietti, who has a keen eye for discovering talent, in particular all the young actors from the first It movie. This is very true. The actresses weren't informed what part they were reading for until very late in the process. Calle also did a chemistry read with Flash star Ezra Miller. Did you hear that? Supergirl and the Flash will be on screen together. How amazing is that? All auditions, chem reads and meetings, especially during COVID, were done over Zoom. Calle will fly to the Flash production soon. Wow. Calle's discovery here is akin to what Warner's and Zack Snyder did in casting fresh-faced Gal Gadot, who was known previously from The Fast and the Furious 6 in the role of Wonder Woman, which catapulted her into being a global star. The Israeli actress made her debut as the DC superhero initially in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice before starring in Wonder Woman 1984 and Justice League. Calle plays the role of Lola Rosales on The Young and the Restless. She was nominated last year in the Outstanding Young Performer in a Drama Series category at Daytime Emmys. She also starred in the YouTube miniseries Socially Awkward. She's very good. It's a great piece of casting, right? And I'm going to say this as well. Have I already said this? Anyway, I think I might have said that on my Instagram, Mad Mickey, as well. We already have a Supergirl who's white, blonde hair, blue eyes. The multiverse is one world now. All these Earths are part of the same movie and live action franchise now. So we already have a blonde-haired and blue-eyed Supergirl, and Melissa Benoist. She will carry on playing that character. And I might go on about Melissa a little bit after I read this article. So there is nothing wrong with a Latino actress getting this role. And she's so talented and she deserves it. Did you see her cry on the video? She's so happy. Don't go around attacking this young woman because you may be triggered. Congratulate her or say fucking nothing. Do you know how difficult it is to be in a soap? The schedules. This young woman has been, working her guts out in this industry for years. So leave her alone and please be happy for her. Calle is rep by Stuart Tennant, Authentic Talent and Literary Management, and Dale Shaw Moons. In the DC media canon, Supergirl was first played by Helen Slater, a fantastic Supergirl, by the way, in the 1984 Warner Brothers movie, and later by Melissa Benoist on the Warner Brothers TV series for 126 episodes. In other DC news, I hear that James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is apt to stick to its theatrical and HBO Max streaming release. We know that already. Strategy versus a pure theatrical release. In addition, Matt Reeves' redefinition of the Batman will wrap soon in mid-March. That's exciting. So that's brilliant. And, the video's here on Deadline if you want to see it. But yes, Sasha Calle, I hope I'm saying the name properly, is our new Supergirl. The DCEU has a Supergirl. How exciting is that? It's something we've been talking about and theorizing about. Who was that Supergirl's empty pod? The Supergirl prequel comics. Actually, it's interesting because I know I read the prequel comic on this channel before on an edition of the DCEU Daily. I can't remember. What does she look like? Does she have blonde hair and blue eyes? That's interesting, isn't it? Someone who will have to refresh my memory. Go onto my Twitter at Movies TV Man and post a picture of her in Zack Snyder's prequel comic because that's interesting. But don't forget, Flashpoint is going to change everything. First, the question we have to ask, how is this going to work? Do we see Supergirl prior to Barry Allen, going back in time and changing the timeline? Do we see her in the new timeline? This is what we don't understand. This is very interesting. Has she been hiding somewhere for all these thousands of years if we go back to DCEU canon and what Zack Snyder did in that prequel comic? We just don't know. But it is very exciting. I believe Henry Cavill and every member of the DCEU, yes, including Ray Fisher, will be involved in this. A lot of people will comment down below and say Ray's going to stick to his guns. He's not going to be in this. Some people believe that WB sacked Ray Fisher from Flashpoint. I don't believe that's the case. I believe the man went onto Twitter and said he wouldn't work on any production that involved Walter Hamada. What do you expect them to do? That's not a sacking. If the people in the investigation he believes that Walter allegedly interfered with, if he doesn't apologise to them, Ray's saying he's not interested. I think that's about the scope of it. I think if there's a public apology by Walter Hamada, things could change very quickly, or if they have a private conversation. I think privately, everyone at Warner Brothers, even though Ray Fisher's been a thorn in their side, I think everyone wants to involve him, as well as the Doom Patrol cyborg as well. I think that's how it's going to play out. Ray will be involved. I'm very, very certain about that. Obviously, there's a window here. They're in production now. I think they started shooting now. And so, I don't know. Look, for me, it would be absolutely tragic if Ray Fisher isn't involved like everybody else with Flashpoint. And I think he will regret it if he's not involved in Flashpoint as well. And at the end of the day, Ray, you're obviously an activist. You're very passionate about being an activist. But, you're going to break a lot of people's hearts if that's all you care about, just giving your acting card, at the checkout. So you say, I'm not an actor anymore, I'm officially an activist. But don't use this industry for you being an activist. That's what I would say to Ray. I like Ray. He's a fine actor. He got the investigation everybody deserved after what Whedon had allegedly done on the set, and I'm happy about that. But I think Harry J. Lennox is right. It's time for forgiveness and it's time to move on. But I am absolutely delighted that Andy Muschietti has cast his Supergirl, Sasha Calais. I think she's going to be tremendous. I think you're all going to love her. And as I say, I do think and I do hope that Henry Cavill's Superman will be standing next to her. This could be the ultimate reunion because he doesn't know she exists. Now, this is a massive film with all these characters in it. How long is this movie going to be? That's very interesting as well. And what does this mean for the Snyderverse? There's so many unanswered questions. And for the people saying, again, going back to this kind of, why WB promoting this now? And it's like, I've tried to explain to you, it's just about stopping the scoopers at every turn. Not one scooper knew that Supergirl was going to be cast live on Instagram. Not one scooper knew that Supergirl was even going to be in Flashpoint. We all kind of thought it might be a possibility, but nobody knew for sure. Look, I am so hyped. I've been hyped since I found out about it last night. I think it's fantastic news. And congratulations, Sasha Calais, on your casting of playing Kara Danvers, a.k.a. Supergirl. You're going to be fantastic. And again, I repeat, she's going to be wearing Cavill's Superman MOS design. What does that tell you? It also tells you that Andy Muschietti and Walter Hamada are not going against the original canon of Snyder's canon in the DC Extended Universe. But still, you people are complaining. Come on, let's be happy about this. This is great news. Let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut because there was a big announcement. Now, on yesterday's edition of the DCEU Daily, I was begging people to share their HBO Max account with me because I'm desperate to see this movie along with everybody else on March the 18th. And there did seem to be some toxicity from fans in the US saying, why aren't people willing to pay for VPNs, blah, blah, blah. Listen, VPNs are not reliable things. One day they'll work and one day they won't. So don't forget you're paying your money, whether it's a $5 or a $10 a month. To some people, that's a whole meal. So don't be so disrespectful, right? Anyway, fantastic news. This was announced official by Zack Snyder on Twitter. Zack Snyder's Justice League will be available worldwide in all markets on the same day as in the US on March the 18th via on demand, digital download, linear or streaming. Hashtag Snyder Cut. Hashtag Snyder Cut worldwide. And he goes on. Platform availability will depend on each territory, with exception of China, France and Japan, where the release dates are to be announced. Additional details for specific markets will be shared soon. So this is fantastic news. And over on Vero, he was talking to some fans and they said, was this because of the fan campaign? He said, yes, he said it was very hard work. Zack Snyder, HBO Max, Jason Kilar and Sarnoff, thank you for this. Listen, it's not because they're incompetent that we had to fight this hard for this. You know, these kind of copyright laws and release plans are very, very difficult. And I said yesterday, quote tweeting Zack's announcement, I said global governments and motion picture companies and everyone kind of distributing entertainment has to work together to change this. If you are going to release a streaming platform, it must be globally at the same time. But with the laws in place right now, it's very expensive and very difficult for these companies to do that. So governments have to help them. The rules have to change. Otherwise, you know, streaming at the moment looks like it's the future, but this is kind of a roadblock in its way, and it's been absolutely difficult. But what a success story because of the pressure from us, the fans. RT Snyder Cut, especially Zack Snyder's hard work. So what I think, the way I'm going to be able to watch it, because I don't think I'm going to get HBO Max in Cyprus, as I said yesterday, is by me doing pay-per-view. I think I'm going to have to pay about 16, 17 euros for that, but I'm willing to do it. And how it works is with rentals on Prime Video, if any of you have to do this, is I think you've got quite a while to watch it if you don't start watching it. If you start watching it, you've only got 48 hours to finish it. Keep that in mind. I think you've got about a week to watch it if you don't start watching it. 48 hours if you start watching it. And with a 4-hour movie, that's problematic. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And I think definitely in April or May, we will get the Blu-ray and 4K and DVD released. And then eventually the Noir black and white version. So it's very, very exciting. And beyond that, we got news, I think, on the 23rd of March, the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice IMAX Blu-ray and 4K will be released as well. I looked to pre-order it on Amazon, but it doesn't seem to be available for pre-order yet. I'll keep you in mind and kind of and tell you when I found it on Amazon Video. And I'm just hyped for everything. The release of the BVS IMAX edition, Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut, and this Supergirl news. It's a fabulous time to be a DC fan. Today, yes, a shorter episode than usual. You'll probably be happy about that. But I've got to rush and take my father to get his COVID vaccine very shortly. So that's going to take a lump of my day. But finally today, superfan, a friend of this channel, Scott Edwards, had this to say. At Movies TV Mad, I was also wondering if you could do a video about Melissa Benoist's future as Supergirl with this news dropping today. Or just talk about in your video about the Supergirl news, like, do you think Supergirl will still be around in the Arrowverse? Sorry, one more thing. I think it's awesome John Wesley Shipp is going to appear on Stargirl Season 2 as Jay Garrick on Golden Age Flash. Also, so excited for Diggle's appearance, which are coming up very soon. Can you tell me your thoughts on this news? Yes, John Wesley Shipp being involved with Stargirl as the Golden Age, what's he going to be? Golden Age Flash. is very, very exciting, but I need to start watching Stargirl properly, and I will eventually. So very, very, very exciting. And, you know, obviously Diggle's appearance is going to be very exciting as well in all the Arrowverse shows. Now, you asked me what I think this means for Melissa Benoist's future. Listen, with the multiverse strategy, Scott, and this is for everyone, no one's left out in the cold. You know, just because Sash has been cast, it doesn't mean that's the end for Melissa Benoist. We're going to get the final season of Supergirl. That's awesome. But the multiverse strategy means that everyone has a place in this DC live-action universe. And I believe that Melissa Benoist's Supergirl will be in Flashpoint, Andy Machetti's Flashpoint. Everybody that's alive, who's been in DC live action and played certain characters, will be in this film. People are saying to me, how is this possible? How long is this film going to be? I've been asking the same questions too. So Melissa Benoist, Scott, absolutely has a future in the DC live action multiverse strategy. Everybody has who's willing and wants to be involved. And I hope that Ray Fisher comes down from his high horse, because as much respect I've got for him, I want to see him as Cyborg. Now, if he's willing to give all that up, that's up to him. That's his personal choice. He will be replaced by someone, and that's very sad. Now, whether Walter Hamada interfered with the investigation or not, you've got to understand everybody's points of views here. You know, Walter Hamada wasn't involved with all this. Now, he obviously maybe took Jeff John's side wrongly in this and doubted what Ray was saying. Again, friends back, friends up, unfortunately. It doesn't mean he's corrupt. It doesn't mean he's a bad person. And it's obvious he's making some pretty great choices. Now, if you want to throw birds of prey at him, he gave Margot Robbie and Kathy Yan some rope. Ultimately, in the end, they made a mess of that rope, so he had to interfere with that movie. He had no choice. Shazam was a great movie. It worked for families and children and a lot of other people. His involvement with Aquaman helped the film reach over $1 billion. He's been pretty good thus far, but he was thrown into a shitty situation. And for me, with these decisions being made, especially the multiverse strategy, I think this is the right guy to lead the DCEU. And if he has put Andy and Barbara Machetti in charge of the filmmaking aspect of all of these films, that's very exciting for me too. So yes, got nothing to worry about Mel Benoist. She will be involved. She will play Supergirl in Flashpoint, as well as Sasha Calais as well. They could be standing side by side. Wouldn't that be awesome? This is what's so good about having the multiverse and having different versions of these characters. Anyway, that's it for today. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.